this select PSA 10 Kobe Gold.
Mhm.
So I bought this for about $9,000 about 6 weeks ago. Okay. And obviously the prices for this PSA 10 Gold has really jumped up, right? So it took like a month for this to come back. So
Yep.
I just finally got this back, and I'm just thinking of sending it back to the US just to put it back on the platform instead
Yeah.
of bringing it to the show.
I'll give you my left pinky for it if you want, if you're interested.
Nah, I don't think it's worth
No,
that much.
it's not worth enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Well,
Right. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Courtside Investor podcast. I'm your host, the Card Boss. Today is episode 3 of my Road to Macau series, where we're going to attend the Macau Asia Sportscars Convention show in less than 1 month. And today I got a returning guest. It's my friend Eric from Hong Kong. And it's just so happened that the two of us are going to set up for this year's show. How are you doing, man, buddy?
I'm good. Looking forward to the show. I think it's in about 3 weeks' time, right? So it's coming up quick.
It's very fast, man. It seems like the year has gone by very quickly because the amount of shows that's been happening, globally. Right? We just had the Nationals and West Coast Card Show just before this, and then the Nationals just before that, and then Fanatics Fest just before that. So it's like a big series of shows recently.
Yeah, I think regionally and also within China, the pace of shows have picked up as well. I think obviously, I look at my WeChat and have card friends on there, and it seems like almost every couple weeks, and definitely every month, there is some big show going on, right? So in Shanghai, I think they recently had Mojo Fest, and then I think
that was big. That was a big one, right? I think the Mojo Fest. Like I see so much content around it.
Yeah, I think it's in a way, I guess it's being co-hosted by a pretty well-known celebrity, I guess.
Yeah,
he's
right.
quite well admired, I guess, in by our mainland friends, especially in the card community. So I think, yeah, it seems like, and then they were doing it for the second. I think that was the second one, right? And they had contests where they had the Mojo Fest Top 50. So quite a good number of cards. And yeah, I mean, seems like our little industry, our little hobby is growing quite well. We're seeing very good numbers coming through, especially on high-end sales. Concentrated on certain cards, certain players, etc. But and then obviously we've got eye-catching deals in terms of figures, like the Jordan dual logo man with Kobe that recently probably brought a lot of non-hobby eyes to our industry.
Sure. Right, cool. So let's get to the topic at hand. Basically, I have this series whereby I'm just going to talk about the road to the show, like leading up to the show, because I don't think I see any content about people talking about the show besides all the the hype about it that's posted on social media by the organizers themselves. So I thought it'd be a good idea to give some insight to the audience about what's happening behind the scenes, give some history, give some background. So I've done a bit of that in my previous episodes, but I was thinking it was good this time around because you have set up in the show before, so it's kind of get your insights, or maybe like touch on first about what happened last year when you were there. What was your feel and what was your observations with the show?
Yeah, I think so. This would be the third year. First year, I didn't have a table, but I went as a kind of participant, carried my suitcase around of cards. Obviously, I think that was a very interesting first show. A lot of big cards from Asia were brought, especially by the Chinese collectors. So it kind of showed the world, as well as kind of our friends in overseas and in the States, that there are some significant modern
big stuff here.
As well as predominantly basketball cards that are available in the region, right? So I think obviously second year, then I had a table by myself. It was, I think the event on a whole was bigger size. I think obviously instead of having just one aisle where all the tables of dealers were located, they had 2 sections. So that by itself meant that more tables. in terms of representation, you had the high end Chinese guys. You had also obviously high end guys from the Philippines as well as other countries as well
Mm-hmm.
around Asia. But that second year, you also saw a lot of some foreign guys come in from the States as
Yep.
well as
Yep.
Europe as well, and they
Yep.
were quite active in terms of some having tables and some just walking around the show floor, picking up deals. I think a lot of them were looking for high end stuff,
Yep.
either sourcing for either buyers from back home or stocking up their inventory to bring back overseas. So
Right. Right.
it seems like with a third year around, with this show becoming quite being established as like the main show in Asia, right? In a way,
Correct.
I think that will just bring more kind of foreign participants in as well. And then hopefully, this time around with more non-industry, with I guess all the publicity in
Mm-hmm.
mainstream media as well as mainstream news, there should be more guys that just are interested in the hobby and learning about it coming in. And then
Right.
obviously you've got the exhibition game with the Nets and the Suns on the
Yep.
Friday and the Sunday. So that
Yep.
will be bringing, basketball fans who,
Yep.
you know, when they have nothing to do in the afternoon, probably on Saturday morning, late morning or Saturday afternoon, will drop by the show. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, I've been at shows locally where you had a mix of other non-hobby people come in, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of diluted the experience in terms of
Right.
instead of people coming in and trying to do deals and really looking and having interest in
Just here to
high-end
just have a
cards.
look
Yeah,
and see
it's
and walk
window
around.
shopping, and then
Right.
they ask very basic questions. So,
Right.
hopefully it's less of that, but
Mm-hmm.
then, I guess anything that brings new eyes or potentially new money or new interest into the hobby is not a bad thing.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So I was there in the first show. We haven't met we haven't met yet. So
Yeah.
2 years ago. So I was there like with the Zion case, walking around looking for deals. But I wasn't really active, and of course the cards that I brought wasn't up to par compared to what I saw on the floor. Like
Mhm.
I was literally surprised with how much value I saw on the tables, right? So high end stuff and things like that. Of course, some were for sale, some were overpriced and things like that. So that was a real eye opener for me. And I believe that a lot of people who attended the first show was similar to me, and perhaps similar to you as well. Just coming there just to feel the vibe on the first big Asia show. And then last year, I had to skip a show last year. So then that's when I went to Hong Kong for grade 10. That's when I met you. But
Mhm.
the friends who attended last year's show, kind of like echoed what you said. There was a heavy concentration of dealers, not just from within the region, but also from overseas. And there was a lot of deal making between dealers and less so from the general crowd or people who, the general people who would fly in and walk around and buy and look at stuff, more so from the dealer to dealer transactions. So good and bad, I think. Now, but then when it comes to this year, I think like what you said, because there's now more attention, there's now
Mhm.
more coverage. So, and maybe there's a lot of more incentive for people, non-dealers, right? Or let's call them hobbyists slash collectors slash, flippers, investors, whatever you call it, but non-dealers to come to purposely make the flight to come in for the show, to participate, in the show itself. So I think that this show is going to be significantly bigger than last year. So definitely more foot traffic, I think, than last year.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't there, but I think that from the vibe I'm getting, last year's foot traffic is not as great. You think so?
Um, I myself had a busy show, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I anticipate foot traffic should still be better this one, just because of all the
Right.
other events happening. Like I think the NBA event that's happening, the exhibition series that will
Mm-hmm.
bring, I guess I think guess the stadium's about 10,000 seats,
Right.
right? So that should be bringing at least, you know, if people are coming with their wives or girlfriends, maybe 5,000 hardcore fans, right?
Right.
So those people would naturally be inclined to, if they're not involved in the hobby, to at least, you know, jump across to a different
Right.
venue and, you know, check this out. So yeah, but I mean, I think there'll be some of those eyes, but it could be more of the extension of the second year versus there's a lot of dealing between
Mhm.
kind of experienced dealers as well as maybe some major collectors. But I just feel that with the price point of where cards are moving,
Yep.
especially I think if it's a continuation of the first and second show, people will be bringing very high end cards.
Right.
The
Right.
dollar amount, I think, for a new person, no matter
Mhm.
how wealthy, unless they're super wealthy, right?
Right.
It's still gonna probably be an obstacle for some people to, you know, it's yeah, paying $500 for a good card is different from
Right.
paying 5,000 or 10,000
Right.
for a good card, and that's kind of with recent movements in the market. That's kind of where we headed, right, in terms of the
True.
price level.
True.
Yeah.
That's interesting you bring this up. So I guess that affects the preparation that you and I we're sharing a table, but we're actually setting up differently, separately. So coming to the preparation for the show. So what you just said, does it affect the your preparation in terms of what kind of stuff that you plan to bring to the show?
Um. So historically, with shows, because I haven't been very active in terms of selling on,
Hmm.
say, platforms before, I have brought liquid stuff to shows.
Hmm.
Stuff like Luca Contender Autos or Luca Immaculate RPAs,
Hmm.
etc. Those stuff that
Yes.
is um, well known, recognized. Generally have comps within the last couple months.
Right.
But I think this year it's a combination of, I guess I've been slightly more active in terms of selling on platforms or
Hmm.
selling via other means. It could be a show where I decide, um, like I do what our Chinese friends do in terms of I actually bring very big cards that
Hmm.
is just for more for display and for clout and hype. So I'm still deciding for that. I think it'll probably be a mix of both. I'll probably be, thinking of, the top 5 or 10 cards that I've owned
Hmm.
that I want to bring and just kind of showcase. And then maybe, have a suitcase of like 50 or so
Liquid
cards that,
stuff.
yeah, that I don't mind, selling at this point in the market.
Is
Yeah.
there a reason why you want to bring, showcase stuff? Because obviously, space is, there is some constraint of space. So
Yep.
obviously, if you're there to do deals, you want to maximize the space, right? So I
Yep.
know some of the Chinese guys are not there to do deals. They're there to create conversations, to
Yep.
meet people, to talk about their stuff. But if you're there to do deals, so is there a reason why you choose, just to bring some showcase stuff?
No, I think it's a mix of, like I said before, it's a mix of because I've been slightly more active selling
Hmm.
overseas and on platforms. I don't feel the need to bring as much stuff to sell.
Right. Right.
So, and then, like previously the shows I've been in, it's just been very busy. Like I haven't had,
Hmm.
it's generally I'm up always kind of replying to queries about price and stuff. So in a
Right.
way, I think maybe this time I just want to be more relaxed. I think that's the main thing. Like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
yeah. I
have
mean,
more of a, I think also
just enjoy, right? Just
enjoy as
enjoy the
well
vibe,
as,
enjoy the crowd, I
yeah, and
guess.
also have time to walk around and check out other tables. Because I think
Right.
one of the things is when you actually have a table, you
Hmm.
spend all your time or 95% of the time at your table and you don't
Right.
see what's really out there. So
Right.
I think this time, potentially I want it to be like, maybe 60-40 or 70-30
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
terms of
Hmm.
60-70 at the table and then 30
Hmm.
40% just being on the floor looking at other cards and potentially, working out some deals for stuff that I really want.
Right. Awesome. So, I mean, for my case is because as you know, right? So I operate 100% on a platform, right? So I sell everything online. So having to have stuff, having to set up a show, which means that I have to actually literally bring back inventory that's meant to be selling on platforms.
Yep.
Right. So, and that's taking away opportunity to sell on a platform itself, which right now, I kind of regretting some of the decisions I made because some of the prices has really, jump up really, really high, right? Like for example, this select PSA 10 Kobe Gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought this for about $9,000 about 6 weeks ago. Okay. And obviously the prices for this PSA 10 gold has really jumped up, right? So it took like a month for this to come back. So I just finally got this back, and I'm just thinking of sending it back to the US just to put it back on the platform instead of bringing it to the show.
I'll give you my left pinky for it if you want, if you're interested.
Nah, I don't think it's worth
No,
that
it's not.
much.
It's not worth enough. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe two. Well,
I'm in that situation now whereby certain cards that I know can do a lot better in the platform, in my case, deserve to be back there as opposed to being to the show. Like I guess a card like this would be good conversation pieces. People will like wow, wow, wow.
yeah.
But chances of it actually moving for a price that I think that it's worth, maybe remote, right? So
No, I agree.
yeah,
Because I think the thing is, we're at that stage where the price discovery of cards is moving up.
correct.
So historically, it shows what you can do as a dealer is you can hold strong on a card. You think, okay, this card is super short printed, the grade is
Yep.
great.
Right.
I have this figure in mind that is higher than the last comp. So
Right.
I'm going to stick to it. And
Right.
if someone's willing to pay that, great, then I sell it. But we're at that stage where I think the hype is so hot and there's new money coming in that
Yep.
it's worth it to put these cards onto platforms and let people compete for it rather
Correct.
than because you might think a figure is high based on past comps, but then we're at that stage where it's not completely rational, I would say, in terms of pricing.
You may find one or two people who will be interested in a card, obviously, right? Because there is a potential for them to take the card and then move it to a platform, correct?
Yeah.
So, but then it becomes a huge negotiation whereby end of the day you're better off just doing it yourself because you have the ability to do so. And then kind of like you waste, there's an opportunity cost in terms of time. Like right now we're sitting in the middle of September. By the time the show is over, we're talking about middle of October. 1 month has gone, and things change very quickly, right? In this hobby, right? So, while the gas is still very hot, you try to take advantage as much as you can. So that's where I am actually. So the plan
But
that for me,
I mean, of course, you run it as a business as well, so. Right. It could be shows where, you go to the States, everybody has a banner where it's like buying. So
right.
I think for you personally, it could be a show where you're bringing a lot of cash and trying to do deals to get these cards that you can then put onto platforms that you feel like can do well on platforms.
Right. I believe there'll be a lot of people who are in a similar position as well. So of course it comes down to who is willing to pay strong, right? So and of course how fast are they going to move or how much margins that they are willing to take. Some people have a fix that I want to make at least 10% or whatever. So it's how much you're willing to squeeze. So there's a lot of variables to this, but one thing that's actually working in my favor or maybe in your favor as well is because we don't actually need to sell anything. Right. So we're not forced to a position whereby, okay, I've invested this amount of money to come to the show. I brought all my inventory. I gotta sell X amount of dollars worth of stuff so I can cover my trip. And then at least I feel it's worthwhile. So for you and I, maybe it's a bit different. It's more of like you said, I just treat it as a weekend, enjoy the show, feel the vibe and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe pick up one or two good things. Yeah. Pick up one or two good things, or maybe happen to sell something for a really astronomical price that you cannot resist, right?
Yep. I think essentially that's I think you probably put it as to like what I will probably be treating the show as. And obviously like walking around the floor and trying to see what cards are available. But I mean, it doesn't seem like it will be a show where you're picking up very good deals. Like I think
true.
the margins will be quite small. Like people will be very
very tight on a
right,
lot
in
of
terms
stuff.
of pricing and
Yeah,
everything. So
I foresee that as well.
unless somehow you do have a card that somebody really, really wants and can pay up for it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, like, yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see like how this show is different in terms of like I think Asia's been well known for having shows where people are quite strong on prices. And now
Yes,
that prices are even higher,
higher.
I
Yep.
just wonder just how this translates to this Macau show.
Yeah, it's one thing is quite weird though. But I was watching some of the content on the West Coast card show recently, right? So some people were posting on their Facebook posts on the Facebook group saying that, "Hey, look, I'm going to the show. Here's the stuff I'm gonna bring. Here's the price tag. If you're interested in anything, hit me up when I'm at the show." Okay.
Yeah.
And I look at some of the prices that they posted, that they stickered. Okay, it's like 30% above comms most of the
Hmm.
time, especially on the bigger, the more popular stuff, right? So I'm just wondering, we think that in Asia that's what we do, but
Hmm.
in the States that's what they do as well. So is it that when you do shows, is it very common to just price it way over and then let the negotiations begin?
Um, I mean, I think I generally price competitively, so
Hmm.
maybe that's why I've been super busy. And so maybe the strategy is actually pricing significantly higher. Um,
Right,
but I mean, we are at that stage where every week brings in auctions that are bringing in eye-watering prices
correct,
for certain
correct,
cards. So
correct.
it is at that stage where you can potentially or should be putting 20-30% comps higher and then
Right,
letting people negotiate up to it. And
right,
then you feel like you're being really reasonable by giving 10% off on that or something like that.
mm,
Yeah.
right.
I think so that's why I said I think, you know, Asia historically has been, guys are firm on prices, so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. But again, I mean, if you're doing cards for cards, that's different because
Hmm.
then it's a way of saying, okay, well, okay, my card, I'm going to price it 30% higher, then I can buy this card that is priced 30% higher. But
Right,
if you're doing a
true.
cash or card deal, it doesn't make sense, right, in a way.
Right,
So
right.
if it's card for cards, big card for big card, or, a collection of cards, then yeah, probably makes sense that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, potentially that's why spending maybe a bit more time on the floor makes sense this time as well.
Yep, yep. I think
Yeah.
I think same echoing what you say, right? So I am in the market for a big card. Like I have a specific target that I hope to
Mm,
come across, and not necessarily paying cash. I don't think I'll have enough money to pay for that anyway. So
mm.
hopefully have enough ammunition for it. But
Well,
before I tell you,
a big night at Baccarat can fix that,
no,
right?
no, no, that's not for me, man.
I kid, I kid.
So, but anyway, before I tell you what's mine, do you have any card on your mind that you hope to see that at least have an opportunity to try to acquire at the show?
Um, I mean, as you know, like I'm a big modern card guy, right?
Okay.
And then um, recently I picked up a big F1 card that
Yeah.
should be at the show in Macau. So
Oh, all right. It's gonna be a
exposure
good one.
there. Um, so I think that is internally taking up like a bit of the resources for big cards.
Right.
But in general, you know, like local mans or one-on-ones or
Mm-hmm.
like one-ones, local mans, or Prism, even mosaics of certain guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially about the modern area that I like I
Right.
continue to be in the market for.
Right.
Um, and then obviously I think um, I'm at that stage where I think like Kobe's and LeBron,
Mm-hmm.
not LeBron, but Kobe.
Kobe's.
I think even Curry has gone to a stage where I think
It's
short term
really
it's a bit too much, right? Like in terms
yeah.
of like the
It
the price movement of Curry during the summer has just been astronomical, right? So
Yeah, it kind of messed me up a bit because like 2 months ago, before we were seeing all these price increases, I was really hoping to try to trade into a '09 NT Curry, like
mm,
the true RPL 99, maybe a
yeah,
BGS 9 or 8.5. It was available, right? I wouldn't mind.
yeah,
No, not a gem min. I wouldn't be able to reach to that number, but looking at how the prices go, it's getting further and further away. Like I think the one on Fanatics right now, it's already
mm,
sitting at what, quarter of a million or something like that for
mm.
9.5. So that
With like
means what?
a week and a half to go, right?
Yeah, man. That means that's before BP. So like after BP is like 300 grand. So
Yeah,
which means that the nine's gonna be at least 150, 180, which is gonna be way too much.
yeah,
Yeah. So working not well in my favor in terms of trying to get what I want for the show.
yeah. I mean, I think internally, like a lot of friends have also started talking about, um, cashing out or
Mhm,
like because I'm actively involved in stock markets and stuff. So
mhm,
people do say, I have a lot of industry friends that um, they say, okay, the market's hot, but the level of price increases they're seeing in the car market is just so crazy that it doesn't make sense not to sell somewhat and then get back
mhm,
the cash and then maybe you know um, if a correction were to happen next year for whatever
mhm.
reason, get back in then, or
True, true.
because the level of increases we're seeing now. mm, it's questionable whether it's sustainable. So
But it's
you
not it's
you
not
have
across the board
arguments
though.
on
It's
you
not across
have
the board.
it's not
Yeah.
I mean selective players obviously
Mhm.
like Curry has been a big standout in terms of the percentage increase, right?
Yep. Yep.
Uh, and then I guess
Kobe, Jordan,
selective
obviously. Yep.
stuff like downtowns and
Yep.
will not continue to see heavy buying interest. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, if you have some of those cards, then probably makes sense to,
Move them.
if you're not attached to it, to move a little
Yep.
bit and then at
Yep.
least get some cash, right? Yeah.
Right, right. I think for me this show, I am actually trying to just clear out whatever that's not really nailed to the ground. So like, the
Mm,
certain big pieces, I guess similar to you, right? So you have your favorite pieces that's kind of
yeah.
nailed to the ground, but everything else, if the price is right, it's just gonna go. I'm not super locked into anything that I'm bringing to the show actually, aside
Mm,
from the one or two cards. So I may not get the price that I want because that's, I guess, people are still there trying to buy below comps,
yeah.
most of the time. But in any case, everything is going to go to the platform. So I think now is a good time to really, like what you just said, make your moves, and then sit back and relax.
Yeah.
Cool. One last one before we sign off. I want to ask about trade nights. So I had a few people asking me. The first one didn't have a trade night. Last year
Yeah.
had one. Did you participate in a trade night last year?
No, I had a dinner to go to, so I was not there.
Hmm.
I think it was hosted by the Macau local man guys, right? I think they
Right.
were
Right.
one of the sponsors.
Hmm.
I think I was talking to one of them a couple weeks ago. They haven't got a notice that they're hosting again, but I would
Hmm.
imagine there'll be some kind of trade night happening. I
Right.
think it's something that every card show should have, and then it's something that they obviously picked up from nationals and other
Hmm.
other card shows. So yeah, I think it should be a big one, and then should have more people as well. But yeah, I think it would probably be a Saturday night kind of thing because
Yep.
yeah, like Friday
Yep.
night you have the game on Friday,
Yeah.
and
The
then
games on
Saturday there's
Friday.
nothing, and then yeah.
I think I'm not sure that the side event for the show where you get Shaquille O'Neal, Sean Marion, and those guys. I'm not sure, is that the Saturday or is that the Sunday? Gotta check back.
See, I haven't even followed that. Like, I know,
Yeah.
say for
It's a
example,
one day. It's a
Jalen
1 day thing
Green.
though. It's one
Yeah,
day. It's
but
like this. It starts at like 2 or something like that, and it lasts. throughout the day. So I'm not sure is that
Oh,
on
that's the
Saturday or
one
that's
where they
Sunday.
have celebrities as well, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's right.
local
That's right.
celebrities. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't really followed exactly the schedule of those.
Mhm.
I think those events. I know Jalen Green's going because of Fanatics, but like I have
Do you
no
know how much he's
idea what
charging, right,
time.
for the autographs?
No,
Did you
I don't.
see?
Uh,
It's like $540 for one autograph and one
yeah.
photo op.
Well, I know certain guys in China that will pay for it, but yeah, it seems a bit expensive for Jalen Green.
For Jalen Green, that's right. We were talking about Jalen Green in the last podcast when you're on. You're saying that people are saying Jalen Green's the next Kobe and things like that. Looks where
Oh,
he is
I
now.
mean, I think that's what somebody said, and he has a reason for saying that. I mean, the man did not have the greatest playoffs, but
Yeah,
like well, I mean, the Suns as is currently built is also, I guess, him and Booker are playing the same position in a way, right? So,
right,
uh,
right.
um, yeah, we'll see. Like we get a first-hand view of how they'll gel and how they'll play together
Cool, man.
in a
Cool, man.
month's time. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So awesome. So I'm just looking forward to catching up in person again in a couple of weeks. So we're setting up for the guys who want to come and meet myself or Eric. We're at table C67, right? That's where all the dealers are anyway. So come look us up and then maybe come and check out Eric's big F1 bomb. It's the bomb.
Well, hopefully it's big enough, but we don't want to hype it up too much.
Come on, man. Come on. It's
Yeah.
the biggest F1 car. Or maybe not the biggest or second biggest, which depends who you ask, I guess. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Ever.
up there, and I guess it's
Mhm.
fortunate that the hype for F1 is not as big as it was before.
Right.
Yeah, but it is a card that I guess I had to jump at because yeah, it's not one of those that will continuously be coming to the market. So
Definitely.
hopefully,
Definitely.
yeah, everyone will get to see it in October.
I can't wait to see it, man. All right, man. Okay,
Well,
man.
you'll be
Thanks.
yeah. I guess you'll be looking at it quite closely
Oh,
for a couple of days at
definitely,
least.
man. Definitely. I was an F1 fan for quite a fair bit, so definitely something interesting to hold in hand, man. This is a big one. Cool. Anything else, Eric?
No, like, yeah, looking forward to the show. Sorry we couldn't do a longer one today, but then
No
in
worries.
terms of the podcast, but I'm sure like we can do something at the show and then obviously after the show as well.
Cool, man. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching and following this episode of The Road to Macau. Once again, on behalf of Eric, do come and look for us if you're going to the show. Do like and subscribe for this channel. Till the next one, on behalf of Eric, thanks, guys, for watching. Come us out.
See ya.